welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to talk about Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I have done reading vlogs on me reading it, but I wanted to do a book review slash book talk on it because I don't believe I have. I hope not. No, I haven't. I talked about it in my reading vlog and my thoughts, but I wanted to dedicate a video to it, so here it is. Our main character is Jules, who lives in New York. She has just broken up with her boyfriend. She doesn't have a place to live and she feels kind of lost. She doesn't have a job. She has one friend and that's about it. She is desperate for job and a place to live, and she sees this ad in the newspaper that this very famous apartment building in New York is looking for apartment sitters. So she calls this building and she gets to go there for an interview. When she gets to the apartment building, she gets introduced to all of these rules and she gets a lot of these questions like, are you single? Have you family close by? Like, how many siblings do you have? All of that stuff, which is very suspicious, but Jules answers them as truly as she can. She doesn't really have anyone. She is kind of a loner, which the apartment building staff seem to like. So without any question, Jules gets the job as an apartment sitter, which basically means that you get paid to live and take care of this very, very fancy apartment in New York, in this very fancy apartment building. So she thinks it's kind of good to be true. She is though introduced to a lot of rules that follow with the job, like no social media when you're here. No one needs to know that you're here. You can't have visitors over. You can't stay the night somewhere else. You need to always spend the night in the apartment, which Jules kind of understands. She doesn't really see it as any red flags. She just is really desperate to get the money and a place to live while she's looking for another job and place to live, which is understandable. Jules' friend, on the other hand, thinks it's kind of suspicious and that she shouldn't take the job because it feels like it's too good to be true. But Jules is desperate, so she takes on the job and moves into this apartment as soon as she can. After a while, she starts to get to know more apartment sitters. There are more apartment sitters in this building and she befriends them, especially this young woman called Ingrid. And Ingrid really reminds Jules of her sister that actually has been missing for 8 years, I believe. Never found, no idea what happened to her, which is obviously heartbreaking and still on Jules' mind all the time. The apartment building, the people that live there are very aware of they are very private. They don't really want them talking to them. Staff doesn't really want apartment sitters talking to the residents, and it's all very like secretive and private. But Jules finds out that her favorite author actually lives there. That's pretty cool. She also runs into some other interesting characters along the way, like she hurts herself and there's a doctor living there called Nick, and she meets a lot of these people in the apartment building, even though she's not really supposed to befriend them, but you know. As Jules lives here, weird things starts to happen. She feels like the walls are watching her. She doesn't really feel safe. She hears stuff during the evening, and one night she hears a scream from the apartment under her, which is Ingrid's apartment. She hears a scream, and the next morning Ingrid is gone. Gone without a trace, without a clue, without a goodbye. These two have become pretty close friends and she just disappeared. So Jules goes to the staff and trying to like figure out, did she tell you that she was leaving? Where did she go? Did she say anything? But no one seemed to have seen her that night, just that she left and that she left a note that she had to run out quickly, which is very suspicious, yes. So Jules obviously get really worried because she and Ingrid were supposed to meet up the next day and talk like they always do. So she really is trying to find Ingrid. She is talking to Ingrid's friend that she found through social media and is trying to figure out what the heck is going on, because before Ingrid disappeared, Ingrid told Jules about other apartment sitters suddenly disappearing and how it was very weird and odd. No one of the staff seems to really know anything or want to talk about it, which is very weird, obviously. And what's actually like known from this apartment building, it's a very old building and it actually has a history of a lot of death occurring, which, you know, it could just be a coincidence. I mean, it doesn't have to mean anything, but there have been a lot of deaths around this place and it just have a bad history, which Jules finds out and she does think it's kind of weird and something is not adding up. Something is going on. The question is, what is going on? So Jules soon discovers that this apartment building and this job, this apartment has suddenly turned into a nightmare that she desperately wants to escape and find out what is going on. I thought it was a really good thriller. I haven't read a lot of thrillers, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was very simple, easy to understand, not too crazy things happening, just the right amount of things. I think though that it was pretty predictable with like who's behind it and what was going on, but I mean, I still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good thriller and it did scare me. I thought it was pretty spooky and it kept me turning the pages all the time. Like, I didn't think it was slow at once. I read this really fast because it was so fast-paced in my opinion. Also, what I really liked about the writing style is that you go through, you have different point of views or like different point of time. So you have like a chapter where Jules is in like what seems to be a hospital and the doctor is trying to like ask her, are you okay? What happened? Why did you escape? You ran out of the traffic out of nowhere. What were you trying to escape from? And then it skips into like 5 days earlier, 4 days earlier, 7 days earlier. So you get to like the now when everything has already happened and she's trying to like survive it. And then you have the 5 days earlier and 4 days earlier, the whole leading up to what's actually happened, which I really like because it gets really intrigued by the story. So I really enjoyed it. It probably is what made me go through it so fast because you get a glimpse of what's happening now and then it's like 4 days earlier, what happened then that led up to this happening now. So yeah, I really enjoy this. I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a thriller this spooky season that is set in this creepy old apartment building in New York following Jules. So yeah, I really enjoyed it and I can't wait to read more of Riley Sager's book. This was my first one, so can't wait to read more of that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in one of my next videos.